Hey all, welcome back. We are now going to be working on setting queues to variables and then making decisions based around those variables. So to get started, we have to update some data to make the variable first. So the first one is going to be sales. It's going to be pretty easy because we're going to actually replicate this to the other two. We're going to go into the toolbox, go to data, go update data. And in here, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can actually do it by queue, or you can do string. We're going to go ahead and do it in queue because that's a basic form, and it's really just flow.queue. You can make it whatever you want. That variable is up to the developers that build this, however you guys want to do it within your business. I'm going to go ahead and make it queue, and then I'm just going to drop down to sales. So I'm going to replicate this also in the other ones, and this one is going to go here. Going to update data. Going to remember to switch the value. Going to support. We're also going to do that here. Update data. And then this is going to be for billing. Now, granted, this one essentially is going right into billings, but what you can do here, so there's that queue, you actually can switch this to expression, and now you're doing flow.queue. And so that's how that's able to then do it. It takes whatever the path has been updated with, and then that's what it flows to. So we're going to be doing that throughout all of these here. So you can kind of see here. And so flow.queue, where this really gets where this really helps with is when you are pulling information from data tables, which we'll get into. I know that's going to be a later module, but and it's just going to be touched lightly. We're going to really touch that on the admin portion of it because of the managing around all of that. We're going to do the same thing here, flow.queue. And so now you are now using a variable that's set within in the call flow in order to actually set that. So in the very end, then you're able to kind of do some things around that. And that is where we're going to get into the error handling piece. So obviously, the error handling is what really allows us to check to see if there's agents on queue, but also which voicemail to transfer that to. So as we go through here, I'm going to go ahead and rename this. This is just going to be error handling now for sales. And we're going to do a little bit around this just to allow us to route a certain way. So obviously the agent's on queue right here. That's going to play whatever message it's going to play. And then what we want to do is we want to do off of logical, we want to create a switch. And so this allows us to do a few different things. And I'm going to go ahead and make these expressions for all three of these. Just so happens that we need to have three. And flow.queue equals sales. And we have to put hyphens around that. And now what you can do is just copy. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Now we're looking, and it's going to say, hey, which one is it? What queue is this supposed to be tied to? You're able to do flow.queue here. For sales, it's the first one, so we can actually click and drag this one. If it is, it's going to transfer to the sales queue. I'm going to go ahead and clear my clipboard and copy this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this here and here. And so the second one, if you look at it, the second one is for support. So we're going to go ahead and do support. And the third one is for billing. So we're going to do billing. And I dragged this up a little premature, but it kind of helps because you're able to just drag it back down. So this does two things. By default, it's going to go to sales. By case one, you're going to have it go to sales as well. So I might even drag that down a little bit because when we think about it logically, between sales, billing, and support, if for whatever reason it defaults or errors out, we want it to go to support. So let me go ahead and drag that back up and drag support back down. And obviously you have to make sure it's right over the arrow. And there you go. So for case 2, which is support, it'll go to support's voicemail. If it defaults for some reason, if it comes in without a queue for whatever reason, it's still going to be a happy fail path and go to support for voicemail. And then obviously billing and sales. We do have that disconnect still there. Granted, we could go ahead and do it after hours menu, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave those. The nice thing about this is now you're able to go to billing. You're able to take this reusable task and take and put this to error handling now. So let me go to the other one. So you see the support error handling, and I believe, do we have that? No, those are just disconnects. So the other ones now are going to the same error handling one. We're able to now get rid of and delete the support one as well as the billing one, because now we're using variables in order to make the call flow a little bit more fluid. So you can kind of see that it can really clean things up when you are using variables to, in this example, to set up queues, because now you're only having to use one task to kind of do a switch and perform different actions based on, in this example, what queue it's going to go to. So remember, this is just a basic one of using variables and decisions. It can get much more intricate. If you have a data action, or if you have a data table that has several columns and you're making multiple decisions based off different columns or different rows, it can get pretty intricate. In this one, this just makes sure that you understand the elements to that, how to make those decisions, how to help with the flow, how to make sure that you need 3 reusable tasks. You only need the one to handle it, as long as you're able to kind of use the data to bend to your needs. Go ahead and keep practicing through this. Make sure to save, make sure to validate and publish, and we'll see you on the next hands-on.